Alright, welcome to a visit with Nana and Papa.
This Nana, I'm Papa.
My name is Valerie.
I'm Jim.
And we're coming to you from Killeen, Texas, where the weather is absolutely gorgeous. I think the high today is 77. Yes, please. I will take it.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Yes, very much so. It's been lovely. It's been really lovely. The drive home last week for several of the days was a bit rough, but I will take it because I would much rather have that drive home and have this temperature than have an easy drive home and 100 degrees. So we'll take it.
I'm going to disappear for a second because I left my water over there.
Update. I am working Monday through Friday at the moment. I will start working Saturdays in 2 weeks. And I still have Zooms that are happening on Tuesdays and Thursday nights, but I can't get to them on time because I am not out of work yet. And I don't know what my schedule is going to be. Once my schedule changes, I may not even be able to attend those. I will be able to keep my Sunday Zoom though. So if you want to Zoom with us, say hi to us. Jim doesn't hang out on the Zoom, but he does pop in from now and again, and he definitely is, over there being a wise owl sometimes.
One of our friends used to call me the voice of God because I just come in out of nowhere and share enlightenment.
Yeah, I don't know if enlightenment is the right word, but you share things, so we'll go with that.
I love you.
I have not had the best knitting time of late.
Okay, we need to clarify something. You enjoyed the knit.
Yeah, well,
While you was doing the knitting, you enjoyed it, or
but
you wouldn't have kept knitting.
But they were not knits that were like, this is so much fun to knit. They were knits of, I really, really, really want to have this garment because this garment is going to go into what I can wear, and I was hoping I would have it before it gets hot, and I was hoping it'd be this top is super lightweight. It is like the perfect top for Texas weather, right? It's nice and light and airy.
Got a lot better when you shorten the sleeves on it.
Yeah,
it used to be down to like here, and then she took them off to there.
But
and then somebody got to frog all that shit.
Anyway, I was thinking I'm going to have a couple of new tops, and we have a couple of things going to the frog pond, and I will frog them so you don't have to.
I'll frog them because you complain because you got to see my baby, her and weaving in the ends, that's not a song she sings. That's a song she rarely even plays. I weave in more ends than she does. But she took it upon herself to weave in the ends as she was going because she just had a premonition that she was going to have to take this shit apart and she wanted it to be difficult. But it's not going to be difficult for me. I'm going to take it all apart until I get into the weaving in, then I'm going to take all the weave out, and then I'll keep on going.
I'm telling you right now that I will never, ever, ever weave in the ends until the project is completed ever again.
Okay, the TV is on just the background channel behind us right now, and it just gave an ad for John Wick 4, which means that I must mention one of the movies that I went to see this week, because for those of you who are old like me, you'll remember Rain Man, Dustin Hoffman, and what's the other guy?
Anyway, it doesn't matter because I don't talk about the other guy.
Yeah, anyway. But I went and saw The Accountant 2, and now I must watch The Accountant, the first one, because I've never seen it. I just went to The Accountant 2 because my wife works all day, so I'm sitting here by myself. I could do something besides sit at the walls and go, damn, I miss my wife. So for $20 a month, I can go see a movie every day at Regal Theater. I'm not gonna, because there's not 30 movies worth seeing. But I went and saw The Accountant 2, and The Accountant 2 is basically John Wick and the Rain Man made a baby. It is delightful. I laughed and laughed and laughed. It had a lot of good, it has some good serious, it has some good John Wick moments. It had some really good endearing moments. And it has some very good Rain Man moments. One such moment was the brothers haven't talked in 8 years since the last time that badass brother rescued Savant brother. And the Savant brother said, we'll keep in touch. So badass brother says, you haven't talked to me in 8 years. Now you want help. He says, you had my number. That's not how keeping in touch works. I'm not supposed to have to call you. You're supposed to call me. He said, you had my number. Just, that is a truly a Rain Man moment, but I'm telling you, go see the movie, you'll enjoy it. I laughed. I'll go see it again before it leaves the theater. That's how much fun I had with it. Now, onward and upward, we were discussing you're not wanting to knit and weave ends.
No, the movies are fine, but did you see any other movies
Well, we
that
can interject them amongst other stuff. We don't have
Anyway,
to do all
I
movies.
don't have knitting success to show you. I only have knitting failure. However, I'm not going to put the knitting failure
know.
in here.
Did we show my new socks? We only showed my old socks. Did we show my new socks? My baby made me new socks.
Yeah, as they come off his foot with hair and fuzz and
That's
dirt
okay.
because they've been walked in.
What's the important part about that?
That I made them. They're done.
They were on my foot. These are. What's worse? You make a sock and it has hair on it because it's on my foot, or you make a sock and it never gets worn. I think we should be proud of the sock with hair on it. And since I recognize that hair, and it's about that long,
I know
well,
where
I
it
know
came
exactly
from.
whose
I
hair
know
that
I'm
is.
losing my hair. I lose it everywhere. It's
Yeah.
It's hard to find the hair in my head almost because you can
No,
find
you're
it
not.
everywhere else. Anyway,
I test it regularly. I do.
the point is that I have done something I've never done before, and that is I took video throughout the last 2 weeks. I have put in some video or taken video on my process, and so I will probably, what we'll do is just put those projects at the end, just before, so I'm not going to talk about these until the end of our podcast, and then I will edit and put the other stuff in before I get to this so you can see the journey. But needless to say, I realized the problem yesterday in one of them and first thing this morning in the other one, and now I have literally 2 weeks of knitting went down the drain. They're both getting frogged. So I started a new one, and
I think that she should knit the smaller sizes because she's losing weight and she's losing inches. And if she just knits the smaller sizes, by the time she gets done making them, they will fit.
I am not making a smaller size that I don't already fit into, because I'm okay with something being a little oversized, but if I don't lose the weight that I want to lose, I am not going to have my knitting making me feel crappy about not losing the weight.
You're going to lose the weight because you're dedicated.
We're not going there.
Yes,
we are not. No, we are not. I am not setting myself up for failure.
Yes, baby.
When it happens, if it happens, I will be happy about it. I am not making oversized things for me because I don't need them, but I am going to make things that have 2 to 4 inches of positive ease so that they are comfortable, and so that if I gain any weight, I can still wear them But if I lose weight, I can also still wear them.
I love you.
Now,
Now, one of the things, one of her snacks that she likes is, what is that called?
lesser evil.
Lesser Evil popcorn. Her favorite is coconut oil and Himalayan pink salt. And we got one of these.
And it doesn't have to be Himalayan pink salt. I just think
That's the flavor.
that a little bit of salt and coconut oil to pop the popcorn makes popcorn taste really good without the craziness of the calories or the bad cholesterol, and for me makes me feel like I'm having a little bit of sweet with my salty, which makes me feel like I'm eating a dessert and makes it easier for me to not be angry about being on a diet.
But that little blue thing is like $10. And you microwave it. I set it for 3 minutes, and when it quits going pop, I take it out, and then I don't burn the popcorn, and it seems to make both of us pretty happy. But I tried something. I liked it way more than she liked it, but then I'm more flexible like that. You take, after you put your oil in there, you take a tablespoon of chicken fajita seasoning, and you sprinkle that over your oil, and then you dump your popcorn in on top of that, and then you pop your popcorn, and you got chicken fajita popcorn, and it is yummy. I liked it a lot. That is a no or low calorie snack that has umami to it.
Good to know. Okay, so my only knitting that I'm going to talk about in our video is going to be the new project. I'm using Core Fingering. It is a yarn by Upland Fiber Co. I don't know that I've talked about it much on here other than my one brioche sweater, but I really like it. You can't tell because of this. I guess maybe, but
Is that
it's
3x3 rib?
no, 2x2.
Hmm.
2x2. But see how the yarn, it's not itchy scratchy at all.
Not bad.
And it's non-superwash. It's like win-win. It's non-superwash, so it's not going to stretch out and be all wonky and end up with the sleeves off my shoulders and stupid things like that. And
And
it's not, when in the summer I don't get the heavy feel of the superwash. It'll be nice and light and airy. So it's win and win and win. And it's yellow, but it's not yellow. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
kind of like golden amber, I don't know,
kind of like mustard maybe.
dark mustard.
But I'm not
Definitely not French's mustard. This is French's mustard.
I don't
This is not French's mustard.
I'm not a big fan of this yellow as much as I am a fan of this yellow. And so it makes me happy. The reason it's this color is that the yarn that is used to dye, the fiber, the sheep that this yarn is made from is Corriedale and Cormo, and Corriedale isn't a bright white. And rather than separating out all the bright white, you know what I mean, or bleaching the fiber, they just use the fiber naturally as it comes from the sheep. And so it has a slight gray undertone, which means that when it's dyed, it doesn't have that vibrant color, which I'm okay with because I like this yellow very much. And I have a pair of pants that I love to wear because they're super lightweight, but they're also acceptable for wearing at work because they're kind of dressy.
Her new job has a work casual
Yeah, it's
dress code, business casual.
business casual is what we have to wear, and so like they gave us a long list of stuff that you have to wear. And I do have a pair of pants that are perfect for work. Unfortunately, I do not have a blue shirt that is a solid top that I can wear with the pants. Nor do I have a yellow top, and the pants are a print that have several different shades of blue and some gray and white and yellow. That's what's in the print. And so I'm like, yellow. I also may make...
That was also the reason for the brown and the blue.
Yes, because I also... This won't go with the blue pants, but it goes with a red skirt, and it goes with a green skirt, and a different pair of pants. And this, there's like 3 different things in my closet that this would go with. But we'll talk about them later. Yeah. And so I can't give you a pattern for this because I didn't find one. And so what I'm doing, if it works out the way I hope it will, which is still too early to tell, I'm hoping to make it kind of like the top that I made for Tania.
Yeah, very nice. Tania's top looks very nice on her.
That's the plan for this. So, I'm currently doing, or I just finished doing short rows in the ribbing. And then I'm going to add some more ribbing, and then it's already set up for the raglan increases, so then I'll start the raglan. But right now I'm just doing the ribbing. But I wanted short rows because I don't like it cutting here. I want it to be down a little and higher up back here. So that's the plan, Stan. And then that's what I'm gonna do with the yellow, is to make that top. And I'm gonna add sleeves because Tania's doesn't have sleeves, and mine will have sleeves. Because I don't think sleeveless is business casual.
No, probably not. But I got to do a quick shout out because it just popped into my head. I'm a member to lots of different clubs when it comes to restaurants and whatnot, and they all give you a free something or other for your birthday. And back when my son-in-law and I lived in the same town, we would go to Buffalo Wild Wings every once in a while because he really likes Buffalo Wild Wings. I was just kind of tolerant of Buffalo Wild Wings, not my best,
Rings.
But
you keep saying rings.
Wings. Anyway, Buffalo Wild Wings was going to give me 10 wings for my birthday. And I said, that's great. I'll stop there because they are right up the pavement from Regal Theater. So I could go have me some wings, go have me some movie, go have me home. And I went in and I had my wings, and the waitress's name was Kara. K-A-R-A-H, like Sarah with a K. And she was very nice and very friendly. And she said, we don't normally do this birthday thing, but let me go see if we can do this. And she went and saw it, and she came back and said, yes, we can. And they did my birthday thing. And then the gentleman that worked in the back and the head cook, his name is Kevin. And they all came out, and they didn't bother me, and they didn't embarrass me or any of that other garbage by singing happy birthday. They came out, shook my hand, said, we're happy you came in and had your birthday with us. Kevin stopped and visited with me for a few minutes. We shared some BS stories with each other, and then Kevin went back in the back, continued doing his cooking job. And then Kara came out with a little thing, and she said, this is from the boys in the back. And the boys in the back sent me out a birthday present on top of the birthday present they already gave me. But the whole deal actually made me feel like these complete strangers were happy that I managed to live long enough to have another birthday, and that I would come in and share that day with them. So you know what? I'm still not the biggest fan of Buffalo Wild Wings, But I will patronize this particular Buffalo Wild Wings every once in a while, and I know that it's going to make my feet hurt when I do it, and I know that it's going to be bad for my diet when I do it, but I'm going to do it because they were nice to me and they were nice people and they didn't have to do any of that. So thank you, Kevin and Kara. You don't even know I'm talking about you, but you will. I'm in the top 10% of Google reviewers for the United States of America for restaurants. I haven't looked at my stats lately. Last time I looked was before Christmas, and I had over 10 million views. A lot of people seem to be interested in what this fat old white guy has to say about groceries.
Anyway,
But
we should talk, if we're
I'm
going to
gonna
talk
make-
about food, we should talk about something else.
what about?
We should talk about me stopping and getting
Oh,
dinner on the way home.
Ruby's. It turns out there's Rudy's all over the place. It's a chain. But there's a Rudy's between Valerie's work and Valerie's home. And she was dealing with some really shit-ass traffic. She's like, ah! She's like, I'm getting off. And lo and behold, she got off and she had to drive right by Rudy's. Now, we'd been discussing what we wanted for supper. Neither one of us were all that interested in food for supper because
Neither one of us were interested in cooking food for supper. Let's be real. And it's a very long day for me. It's not like I'm only working 8 hours, but I have a 1 hour unpaid lunch, so that makes it 9 hours. I have to drive through some traffic, so I leave an hour to an hour and a half early to get to work because I need to make sure that I'm not late for work.
basically it's a 12-hour day because she usually leaves before or by 7 if she wants to not have a horrible drive. And she usually gets home about 7 if she's had
7:30.
a horrible drive.
Yeah, 7:30, depending on weather and
So
traffic.
that's a 12-hour day of not being home. I, by the way, am not digging this because I've been used for the last 5 years of my baby being in the same place. So whenever I want to kiss her, I just walk over and kiss her.
Because
and I
I was working from home.
And I can make her lunch, and I can bring her drinks and just a bottle of water if she wants a bottle of water. And when people that she's working with or for stress her out, I can come and rub her on the shoulders and make her feel better and take her less stressed. Now that I don't get to do that, so I'm less thrilled. So I'm real happy when she comes home. But she stopped at Rudy's, on the way home and said, we'll try this. And we did. They are not cheap, but you get what you pay for. You buy by the pound, and you buy the pound after it's cooked, not by the pound before it's cooked. The
So
quarter pounder.
I feel like it's decent priced, given that it's already cooked and all the fat's gone. They're not charging you for the bone. They're not, well, except for the chicken where you have to cut it in half and it actually has a bone in it. Everything else, there's no bone, there's no fat.
Well, unless you get the ribs. Ribs have bones.
But so if you're getting the turkey, it's just turkey breast. If you're getting the pork loin, it's just the meat itself. If you're getting the brisket, it's just the meat itself. And so I'm not saying that it's cheap, because it's not.
And we're not saying that it's the where-all be-all of smoked meats, but it's really good.
It's really good smoked meat.
Got good flavor.
And I am a Texas barbecue girl. I like smoked meat. I don't like meat sitting in a sauce. I don't like vinegary sauces that you find in North Carolina. I don't like the stuff that's in St. Louis. I like where meat has been seasoned and smoked low and slow. And then give it to me, and you can skip the sauce. I don't need the sauce. If the meat is moist, I do not need any kind of sauce, and I'm a happy camper. Anyway, so I stopped.
And she got us a little sampling of just about everything. But we have determined that our favorite things are the pork loin and the brisket and the chicken.
Yeah, and the turkey, we haven't tasted
We haven't tried
it
the
yet,
turkey, but
but he doesn't know it's in the fridge.
oh, well, this is news to me. This is good news to me, but you know, and the pork loin did not bother me too much. We tried some pulled pork as well, but the pulled pork was a little fatty, a little greasy, and that was not as well received by my body as the pork loin. So we won't be doing that no more.
No. But I am excited because we went back. I stopped, I don't even know what day I stopped. Maybe Tuesday, maybe Monday.
I don't know.
It wasn't any of the bad rains days, so that takes out Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. So it was either Monday, Tuesday, or the week before, and I don't remember which, and it doesn't matter. But we did get whatever day that was, and then yesterday morning, this is Sunday, by the way. It is Sunday, the first Sunday of May, whatever
May
it
the
is.
4th, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's May 4th.
May
It's
the
tomorrow's
4th be
fifth.
with you.
And
These are not the droids you're looking for.
I love you.
I love you.
You crack me up. Anyway, so we went for an early lunch. It was almost brunch time, but it wasn't. It was like 11:30, 11:15, whatever, somewhere in there.
It was too late to get their breakfast tacos.
Which
It's
is
okay.
fine. So we tried no, we didn't try them.
We tried the
pulled pork and the chopped brisket. And I didn't care for either one. The chopped brisket was literally sitting in a sauce, and that is not my jam. And the pulled pork, I guess, was the same. It was pulled apart and sitting in some kind of something.
Just sitting in its own grease.
In grease.
Yeah, it was just
it
greasy.
just was not. Neither one were my thing. But before we left, I decided to get some ribs because we had not yet tried the ribs, and because the first time we had gotten the pork loin and the brisket, just sliced brisket, chopped up but still sliced brisket. Because we had gotten those the first time and I really liked them, I decided that the best thing for my work lunches was to get more of it and then make salads from home each morning. Toss some lettuce and some stuff into a bowl, put the tomatoes, put the whatever in the bowl, and then add a little baggie or whatever of the meat so that I can heat up the meat and put it on top of my salad
Basically,
when I'm at work.
we're taking Jimmy's Egg Keto Bowl
Yes.
and making it Valerie's portable keto bowl.
Yeah.
With no guacamole, because Valerie's not digging guacamole.
Well, now I have those little things of guac I planned on taking with me because I don't love guacamole, but it's good for me. So I might still.
And at the price of avocados,
Yeah, not lovely, but it is what it is. Anyway, so long story short, or short story long, we now have a really good. At least it's for me. It's the best alternative to cooking from home that I've found since being here, besides Jimmy's Egg. And by the way, just in case you guys don't know, Jimmy's Egg is a restaurant. It does breakfast and lunch only, and it's mostly breakfast foods, but they have a keto bowl that has spinach and lettuce at the bottom, and then they put in different spots, much like a Cobb salad, I think, where it has the little segments. But they put things like cheese and
pulled
bacon
pork.
And either pulled pork or grilled chicken, and you can get salsa and guac. Anyway, it's pretty much all stuff that are total keto
And
foods
eggs.
that you can have. Oh yeah, and eggs.
You can have scrambled eggs. You can have over easy eggs.
Yeah, fried.
I would not recommend a salad with over easy eggs because that's not appetizing. Trust me. Yeah.
But you can also do a boiled egg. And so today I boiled eggs so that I can put them in my salad so I can take them with me, and that's my bowl. Anyway, so I'm very happy. It works out all the way. Anyway, we've been also reading books, although I haven't read anything since I finished the series that he literally finished 38 minutes ago or less.
Yes. Okay. It's Apple TV, I think. Who has the TV show?
I think so. I don't know. We don't have it. We don't have it.
We don't have it, but we may do a trial for 1 month so we can watch the whole series and then cancel the trial. But it's called the Murderbot Diaries.
Yeah.
And she laughed a lot more than I did.
First, we need to say thank you to Ray from Needles at the Ready for recommending and telling us about the Murderbot Diaries.
But Ray's also the one who told us about the 13th Paladin. So thanks for that too, Ray.
And he just gave I'm binging old Needles at the Ready. I don't know why I am, because YouTube put it in my feed and went, alright, that sounds good.
She's also binging the Knitters League.
And I've been binging the Knitters League. But,
yes, I know.
But anyway, so Needles at the Ready, a much older Needles at the Ready, I think it was episode 5 maybe, when he talked about his favorite book. And he brought up The Mists of Avalon. And I think I read it years ago, but I think I want to try and read it again. Why not? If not, I'm going to reread Discovery of Witches, because I really like that series. Right. So I just...
The book was better than the show, but the show did all right. It wasn't like they just totally screwed it up like they did a lot of other things. But no, the TV show Discovery of Witches wasn't bad at all. Let's see. Oh, speaking of John Wick movies, John Wick 4 ended with, you assume that John Wick was dying, and that was the end of John Wick movies. There is a new movie coming out that's not John Wick. It's in John Wick's world, and I think it's called The Ballerina. And in the previews that I saw, John Wick is going to make an appearance because they send John Wick to kill the ballerina. So, because that's not the where-I'll-be-all of the movie, and one of them going to die, I'm thinking John Wick's going to die in this movie. I don't know, just a hunch, because it's going to be a very short movie if John Wick kills the ballerina before she gets to dance, you know? I'm just saying.
Anyway,
My nose itches, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Do you have anything else that you want to
movies.
talk about?
I still have more movies. I went and saw the movie Warfare. It was a very, very difficult movie to sit through. Now, if you have friends who are combat veterans, don't tell them to go see this movie because it's probably not going to be a good movie for them. But if you have never been in combat and you don't understand how somebody could possibly go to Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, Yemen, how they could get deployed somewhere and come back different. They're not the same. They're changed. Y'all need to go see this movie. What they did was they took all the survivors of SEAL Team 6 that were caught in an ambush, and they interviewed each one separately. And they had each one of those men tell their story about this incident and what they remembered, how they remembered this event transpiring, because everybody's perception is different. It's personal. What you remember, what I remember, and what Valerie remembers from the same exact thing that we see is not going to be the same. Yeah. Much the same. All of these members of SEAL Team 6 have a different memory of what happened to them on that day. And they took all of those interviews and they got everything that correlated and meshed together. And then they made a movie based on those memories, and they cast regular actors, not the guys.
Not the SEAL team.
But it is a very disturbing representation of what it is like to be in combat, what it is like to have an IED blow up right next to you and take one of your legs off, what it is like to watch the guy next to you get his brain splattered all over you. And once you see that, maybe you'll be able to understand how somebody can come home and be different. How they can come home and they've changed. I've started going to the senior center. And I like it. Like most of the people most of the time. But there was one lady that was talking about how her son-in-law is different since he came back. And that he doesn't sleep in her daughter's bed anymore. He sleeps in a different room. And she can hear him screaming out in the night and having nightmares and shit. And another woman told me, well, she just needs to divorce him. And I about come uncorked on her, and she's not on my favorite people list, probably won't ever be on my favorite people list, but that's not here or there. I told the woman with the son-in-law, I said, you need to go see this movie. Maybe you'll understand why your son-in-law is having these moments. And maybe you'll understand that the fact that he loves his wife and his children, and he hasn't abandoned them, and the fact that he has enough love for them, that love keeps him from putting a gun in his mouth and sucking a bullet, because he's lived through something that he's not capable of dealing with right this minute. And it comes out in his sleep, and it bothers him so much that he doesn't get any. So instead of telling your daughter to divorce this man, tell her to go see warfare, and try and understand this man. That's what the whole freaking world needs more of, is understanding.
Could use a lot more of that for sure.
And not
Right.
just for those, they need to be understanding of everybody that's different from you. Different's not wrong, different is different. Anyway.
I recommend, if you like sci-fi, the Murderbot Diaries are enjoyable. I will say I laughed way more than Jim did. Jim laughed in parts that I did not find funny at all. And all the times that I thought were flippin' hilarious, he did not find funny. I found, well, I don't want to give away the secret sauce.
I laughed a lot during The Accountant too. I don't know if anybody else would laugh as much as I did, because the other people in the audience didn't laugh as much as I did, but that's their problem.
But you also laughed throughout the entire movie of Inglourious Basterds.
Inglourious Basterds is one of my favorite movies.
Did not laugh throughout Inglourious Basterds.
It was hilarious. It was beautiful. If you haven't seen Inglourious Basterds, I highly recommend it. Just try not to be offended easily, because he can be, but it is absolute poetry in motion. I won't give it away, but it's beautiful. I loved it. It's an alternative history movie about World War II and a group of special forces soldiers that were made up entirely of Jewish soldiers.
Yeah.
And they were dropped behind the German lines, and their whole point in being there was to cause problems.
Yeah.
And
Anyway,
I gotta share my favorite
you don't,
thing.
No,
Yes.
because if they haven't seen it, that's mean. You just stop. Just stop. If you want to know what his favorite thing is, he's Fishing Cowboy on Instagram. Send him a direct message, and he will get back to you about what his favorite thing is. But he is not going to ruin the movie for people who haven't seen it.
And then I went to see another movie, and if you are a Minecraft fan, okay, And if you like the Minecraft movie, okay. My grandson used to play Minecraft. I don't know if he does anymore. I don't think he does. I guess I don't know how accurate the Minecraft movie is to the Minecraft game. But I do know this. I laughed frequently in the movie. Not necessarily because the movie was so funny, but because the movie was so stupid that you.
Yeah, but you
only
were
had
still
the
laughing,
you
and
only-
you haven't been laughing much
You
at all.
had-
So
you had to
win,
laugh.
Win.
Or you had to get up and walk out, and I didn't want to get up and walk out because that was free air conditioning. So.
Yes, but you laughed, and you have not been laughing, so that's a win.
Yeah, that was
Take
a win.
it as a win.
Take it as a win. I will. I would not. If you got nothing else to do with your life and you want some chuckles, then go see
They may
Minecraft.
like
You
it.
may wind up being into Minecraft and all that goodness, and you may think that this movie is just awesome. I don't know. The people in front of me were very into Minecraft. They wore Minecraft stuff. And while we were standing there waiting, I talked to their daughter who was wearing Minecraft stuff. And she told me all about how good she is at Minecraft. And I just nodded and said, that's awesome. Good for you. And they really enjoyed the movie. So I'm thinking it must not be too bad if you're into Minecraft. You probably enjoy it. I don't know. I did not ask them afterwards because I needed to pee. Oh, speaking of needing to pee.
Oh my God. What?
Thunderbolts. It is the latest Marvel movie.
Yes.
And it's anti-heroes becoming heroes.
Yeah, I
was
don't
really-
be giving this toss
it
away
was-
either.
it was
Just
really
say it's really,
a
really
good
good. I
movie.
enjoyed it. I think you should
It
go.
had emotional depth that you would not expect to come from a Marvel superhero movie.
I find all of the Marvel movies to be very emotional.
I
Yeah,
liked
great
it
dramas.
a lot. And I'm sure there's post-credit scenes.
But
I'm
you
sure I
haven't
will
seen
see
them
them
'cause
again.
you
I will see them
had to go to
because
the
I'll go
restroom.
see this movie again because I enjoyed it enough the first time. I'll go see it again because I can see a movie every day for $20 for the month. So I'll see this movie again, and I will watch the end movie credits because if I need to pee, I can go pee anytime before the movie credits because I've seen it all. And that's one of the best sell points for this movie program is because you can go and see this movie again if you really feel so inclined. If you drank too much before you went to the movie and that little pit stop you made before the movie is not enough to carry over because you still have contents that need to leave, you can pick any time at all that the urge strikes you. Get up, go pee, come back, and you stop and you look at what scene it is when you take your seat again. And the next time you come see this movie, you make sure you don't get up and go pee until you get to that scene and you won't have missed anything. And if it's a truly stupid movie, you can get up and go pee and be pretty confident that you're not going to miss anything important anyway.
You're funny. All right. So we've gone over life situations. We've gone over movies. We went over the books for the most part. I did try to read a couple other books, and I got like 2 chapters in and was like falling asleep left and right. I am one of those people who, if I'm knitting something and it is making me miserable, I frog it. If I am reading a book and I am bored or I am not enjoying it or I am not interested, I peace out. I don't even give it 3 chapters. Sometimes I don't even give it the first chapter. I also don't do spice. So if you're telling me about a book you really like and it's got spice, and if you don't know what spice is, ask someone, because they'll tell you. Because I'm not. No, I don't want to talk about it on here.
Okay.
Because maybe there people don't like spice, because I don't like spice. Spice is a good word. Anyway, So,
And it's not
If-
about doom.
if you like fantasy, high fantasy, urban fantasy, or sci-fi, and you don't do spice, feel free to recommend any and all books. Because I do like to read, but I am very picky. Alright, so I think we're at the end as far as where I need to talk about my knitting. Here to talk to you about my heavily modified sweater, and this sweater was based on, and it's important that that clarification be there, it is based upon a sweater pattern by Beatrice Rubio called the Tartaletta. I'm going to take my glasses off because it's just glaring and I don't need to see you, but I don't want that glare to irritate people. So the Tartaletta is by Beatrice Rubio, Samba Knits, and it is a striped sweater. And if you ever want to make a striped pullover, in my opinion, it is the best pattern out there. It's very uniquely written. I'm not going to give away any of the special sauce in doing this, talking about this, but I did want to go over my progress so far. I wanted to talk to you about the yarn, what needles I'm using, my gauge swatch experience, all the things. So first of all, I'm using Derirum Natura Ulysses. I would, in a New York second, happily trade hand-dyed yarn, 100 grams of this for 100 grams of anything in my La Bien-Aimée, 100 grams of Suburban Stitcher, 100 grams of Barnyard Knits. You want to give me 100 grams of Ulysses and trade me? All right. Because I love this yarn. I love this yarn so much. Anyway, this is a sport weight yarn. I do wish that it was a little bit thinner, but it knits up so light and airy that I don't even care. The color for this is showing up way darker in the, I don't know why my lighting is, that's not actually not bad. So if I come back, it's a little closer. It is a brown, but it's a very red brown. And I don't have anything to compare it to. It's called caramel, and it's very much, to me, the color of caramel when you make caramel in a pan. It's not burnt caramel, and it's not super light caramel. It's the color where it really has turned into caramel. But I love this color. It is my favorite color of brown, and I don't know why, but anyway, I just want to talk about, well, first, gauge swatching. I gauge swatched 5 different yarns. Now, I didn't just gauge swatch. I did gauge swatches, and I cast on 5 different sweaters. And some of them I got 1.5 inches in, some of them I got 2 inches in, some of them I got 3 inches in, and all of them I ripped out. And then I remembered that I had this yarn ready to go, and I didn't have to wind it up. And because I knew that it was slightly heavier than the fingering weights I'd been trying to use, I decided that I needed to try this. So I did a gauge swatch, and with my gauge swatches, you'll see that I wash them on the cord. I leave them on a cord, and I break the yarn because it's non-superwash. I break it, I wash it. Once it's dry, once this is dry, I will cast on the sweater using this yarn. And the reason being is, why not? All I have to do is spit splice to join it onto the yarn when I'm done casting on. And I prefer, as you can see here, I prefer to cast on even swatches, whatever, using either the inside and the outside, or the outside of 2 balls of yarn, so that I don't have to figure out how much to hold out, because I do a long tail cast on. Technically, I do a Norwegian long tail cast on in pattern. So if I want to do a 1x1 rib, then I do Norwegian knit cast on, then a Norwegian purl cast on, then a Norwegian knit. I think it's Norwegian, but it's the one that gives, it's a twisted cast on. Anyway, that's what I do. It's a very stretchy but beautiful cast on. It is my preferred cast on. I know how to do all kinds, and I do different kinds depending on the situation. But for the top of my sweater, it is my preferred cast on, because it doesn't make the where I cast on so tight that I can't get it over my head, no matter, you know what I mean, if it's too tight, or if it's a little closer fitting. But it also isn't so loose that it's flipsy floppy. Anyway, so I will, when this is dry, I will probably go ahead and start this, because I want to have it for work, and I want to have this sweater as soon as possible, this t-shirt as soon as possible. I will cast it on soon. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. Meanwhile, this has been my knit at work. I take with me. I knit on breaks and lunch. And I've been in training, so I've also been knitting when we're watching videos or having discussions, so that so I can pay attention. And so the pattern, this is not exactly as the pattern. In fact, it's not anywhere near close to how the pattern is written. And the reason for that is I didn't have my pattern at work. And at work, I couldn't look anything up. We're not allowed to have a cell phone anywhere inside the building. We can't have a phone or a smartwatch, and our computers do not have access to the World Wide Web. So yeah, everything is locked out. So there's no way I could go on Ravelry or download the pattern or whatever. And I don't have a printer at home, so I couldn't print it out either. So I had already cast on at home, but I had not, and I cast on before the ribbing. So I had cast on just before this Pearl Ridge. I cast on down here, which is after the first increase. So I cast on there, and then I just knit down. And then when I got down before the sleeves, when I thought I had enough stitches, I came back up, picked up the stitches, and then knit inside out to do a decrease, and then knit one more row, and then did a short row turn to go back to knitting on the outside, knit some more rows, and then changed the needle to a smaller needle and knit 1x1 rib. I'm pretty sure it's 1x1 rib. It might be 2x2. Classes are required for that much detail. Yep, it's 1x1. Sorry, you just never know these things. Then once I had done my neckband, on the same time that I did the neckband, I picked up around the sleeves and knit just a few short rows of ribbing, and then did a few rows of garters, of just of stockinette, so that the edge will roll, so it has a little bit of rolled edge. And then I did the same on the other sleeve. And the reason I did those very short sleeves is because that's all I wanted. I just wanted sleeves right here. If you don't want to look at my old lady fat arms, don't look at my arms, but it's too hot in Texas to have long short sleeves or long sleeves or anything else. Just want to have it so that you not see my armpit, not see my bra, not see. That's sufficient for me. So, there was something else. Anyway, so I did that. That is not part of the pattern. Honestly, I ended up changing when the increases are because I couldn't see the pattern. The pattern is all stockinette, and I used short rows to be able to turn it inside out and knit the increases on the other side, and then knit one row after the increases, which is what created the texture on the sweater. There's really nothing left of the Tartaletta other than I used her numbers to start my sweater. But I've knit the Tartaletta before, and I will be knitting the Tartaletta again. And if you like a striped sweater, it's beautiful. Her gauge in the pattern, I'm not certain of. I thought I was getting 24 stitches to 4 inches. I thought that's what I had. And then I did my gauge, and it was actually 20 stitches to 4 inches. And so I had to redo the math anyway. So what I ended up doing was just keeping track of my stitch gauge and of the number of stitches. And when I reached enough for splitting for sleeves, that's what I did. I split for sleeves, and I cast on additional stitches underneath the underarm for both additional stitches for the sleeves and additional stitches for the body, and to keep my armhole from being too deep, because I don't like it when it's super deep. And so now I just have to knit the body, and I don't know. Excuse me, hold on one sec. Sorry about my coughing. I have been keeping this mostly for working on it at work, because it is for the most part, has been just knit in the round. Like I said, it just had a few increase rounds, and I did those on my lunches or at break, and the rest was I could just sit at work and just listen to the instructor talk or listen to other people talk and just knit away without ever looking at my stitching. And this pattern, it's the reason I started the sweater, is I just knew I needed something, because everything else I was working on required focus. And so that's the status of this sweater. I will be coming back to this same video when I finish. I don't want to call it a Tartaletta because it's no longer anywhere near, but it is a heavily modified Tartaletta, because I definitely started with her instructions and followed her number of rows for each stripe, even though I didn't actually stripe it, but rather just added some garter ridges. There's not much else to talk about this pattern right now, so I will come back when I have the body done, and then I'll try it on so you guys can see it. I'll definitely have it blocked so you guys can, I'll try to do a video before I put it into block, and then another video when it's already been blocked and on, so you can see the difference, because it will be slightly different. This yarn is lovely and blocks out nicely. Would I knit with this yarn again? Absolutely, 110%. Will it be anytime soon? No, because I don't have any more of this yarn. But I, again, really struggling to want to knit with superwash merino or superwash anything after working with this 100% wool. It's just really hard to give up the qualities of this yarn to knit with something else. And so that's where that is. I will catch you back up when I have more to report. Thank you. Good morning. This is Valerie. I am doing a quick check-in on our brown sweater. This was based on but heavily modified of the Tartaletta sweater by Beatrice Rubio of Samba Knits. The sweater's coming along. I have about this much from the split for sleeves. I did finish the sleeves off. This is not blocked, and none of it is blocked in any way. But I have been working on it. It's been I don't know, 5 days since my last check-in, so sorry about not being more proactive at reaching out. I work on it before work, and I work on it on my lunch, and sometimes I work on it during work, but not significant amounts of time. But I'm not I don't get a full repeat. So yesterday in the morning I did these 2 rows, and then during work I did the rest, and this morning I just got to work, and I have about an hour before I have to clock in for work, and I try to arrive at least an hour early for work. My husband's like, why do you go to work so early? I want that time to sit and knit and just relax. I'm not in traffic. I'm not stressed. I'm just... And so I can start my day in this positive space instead of a negative space. So that's kind of my plan or intention. The sweater that I am wearing is the Vibes Tee. It is by Tiff Nealon. And the yarn, the green is, I want to say the color moss, but it's definitely from Ted Knits UK. And then the light color purple is a slub yarn, and I'm going to be honest, I do not remember where I got that slub yarn. But the two, this one and this one, are definitely also from the UK, but from a yarn dyer called Dystopic Fibers. And I don't remember the color names, but I don't remember if I ordered it directly from Dystopic Fibers. I feel like I didn't. I feel like maybe I ordered them from the Wool Patch. So it could have been from the Wool Patch from Stuart. But it's my UK sweater, kind of, except for the pattern came from Tiffany Lynn, who is in the US. And I don't think she does a folded hem on the bottom of like here and here. I don't know that that's in her pattern. I just chose to do so because I really, really like how it feels. I like how this lays. I like how it gives structure. In fact, I regret not doing it on this. I wish that I had, and I may just undo it, but I wish that I had just knit and then folded and 3-needle bind off with the, to give me a folded over neckline, just because this doesn't stretch. It lays exactly where I want it, and I really like, I don't want a neckline that's tighter than this. I do like it where it's not falling off my shoulders and it stays put. Like, I don't mind it being wider, but I have so many sweaters that over time they just stretch. And this one hasn't moved anywhere. It hasn't changed. It hasn't adjusted. And I like how comfortable, even though it's a little thicker, it's very comfortable and it doesn't roll and it doesn't get pinched. And I don't know, I just think it's pretty. And I love the yarn. This green is my absolute favorite green. So, I'm hoping to have this sweater done by the end of next week. There's not much more substance to it other than just keep doing what I've been doing. The more I work with it, the more I love this yarn, and I kind of want to just sell off all of my superwash nylon sock yarn and replace it all with all the different non-superwash yarns that I've been enjoying using. I have some that are like not my favorite, but this is really, really soft. This is made from I don't know, because it's French. Just says 100% wool, and it says I cannot read French. Anybody know what this says in English? Can anyone translate? Is it backwards so you guys can't even see it? Or is it like being nice and putting it into something that you can read? I have no idea. But I recognize it says A Céu de Marinos Nors Portugals, which makes me think that some of the fiber is coming from a Portugal merino, but it also says por certains colores chines. So I'm thinking it contains this and this, but I have no idea. But it's really, really soft and light as a feather, and I am loving every stitch. I don't know when I'll be finished, but I would love to be finished by the end of next week, which is my last week of training. And based on where I'm at, I measured it the other day. I think I need, when I finish the repeat or the length of the the section. I need 4 more of them, and then after I finish this one, I'll need 4 more, and then I'm gonna need the bottom ribbing. And I would do a folded hem like this, but I don't want to do a folded hem when the sleeves are currently ribbing and the top is ribbing. But if I change my mind and decide to rip out my ribbing and rip out the sleeves and switch to these because I like it so much on this sweater, which I really might do. If I do that, then I would want to do the folded hem on the bottom. The really nice thing about a folded hem on the bottom of a sweater is it keeps the stretch going this way instead of the stretch being this way. Because I don't know about y'all, but I have a lot of sweaters that try to stretch out this way. They just keep getting wider and wider, and the neck goes and the body goes, and pretty soon my sweaters are shorter and shorter and shorter, and they're wider and wider and wider, and I'm not about all that. I realize that I am wider than I used to be. I get that. I know that I'm wider than I used to be. I used to be the skinniest person of anybody that I was around. I couldn't gain weight for nothing. Well, that has changed dramatically. But yeah, I don't want my sweaters even wider than they currently are, and I definitely don't want them shorter. I'm way past the point where anyone wants to see my belly or, any skin, I mean, like, even this is not, woohoo, it's, really? But, anyhow, I think I'm really thinking about it. You're going to know because I'm not going to post any of this until it's all done. So I'm curious what I did finally do. But I'm also wondering, do you guys ever do that when you're in the middle of a project and you go, you know what? I think I want to do something different, and then you intentionally take out the ends that you wove in. Oh, you know what? I wove in all my ends. And I just don't know that I want to. I don't want to. I know I don't want to. I'm not going to. If I decide I will fold in. If I decide that I need it, I will keep the ribbing but do a folded ribbed hem. Or pick up and knit so that that can be the, you know what I mean, like where it folds in, just where I picked up, and then do another rib and tack it down. I'm gonna leave it ribbed. So even if I do a folded over, it's gonna stay ribbed. That's it for sure, because I don't want to have to find, and I don't want to lose all the yarn, and I know for certain that I wove in all the ends. Like, not just all these. I'm like, the sleeves are woven in. Like, there's not a single end inside my sweater. Oh, and the best part of using non-superwash, even they come in 50-gram balls, is that when you run out of one ball, you just spit splice it and go. No ends to weave in. The only reason I had ends anywhere else is because when you pick up, when you have your sleeves and you pick up when you start knitting on the sleeve, you definitely have, the end of the yarn you used to pick up the stitches and then your bind off, so though you have those. So I had the beginning and I had 2 for each sleeve, but I wove them all in. Like when I finished my sleeve and my ribbing, which is all on the same night, I did them all at the same time. Who am I? I don't even know. I don't recognize me. I just don't. I did try it on and it does fit, but the sleeves, they're not painfully tight, but they're a little tighter than I would want them. So I may take it out, but I think I want to block it first, because I have not blocked the garment at all. And so I might see if blocking the sleeves gives a little bit more room. It's non-superwash, so they don't tend to grow. But we can see what happens. If for some reason it doesn't work out well, I did go down, and I went down. So I'm knitting this sweater on a US 5. And I could not find a US 3. In the size for sleeves, the shorties. I couldn't find a 3 because I have the little shorties that are sizes 4 through 9 or whatever. I don't know. Actually, I have the blue set, which is 4 through 8, and then I have the yellow set that's 9 through, I don't know, 11, 10.7, whatever it is. 9, 10, 10 and a half. 11 or 10.7, I don't know. I have that set. And I could not find a 3. And then I found fixed circular that looks like it's maybe a 10 or 12 inch needle. And it was clearly smaller than a US 3. So I went ahead and knit the ribbing on the sleeves, finished the ribbing, woven all the ends, did all the things. And I'm like, I should check and see what size needle that was. So I bring out the ChiaoGoo. Sorry, I had an alarm pop up. I bring out the ChiaoGoo little ruler that you put the needles in to tell you what size a needle you're using. I used a 00 needle to do my sleeve ribbing on a size 5. And then when I finished the ribbing, then I went ahead and, just keeping the same needle, knit 3 rounds of stockinette, and then bound off so that it would roll, just do a rolled edge on top of the ribbing, which I really like the look of it. I think that it goes in line with these garter ridges. I think that it looks nice. But honey, those stitches were knit on a 00. And while they're not tight, they're not stupid tight, because the yarn would only let it go so tight, it's still much tighter than any other of the fabric on the project. And so I'm just gonna let you know that when you're doing said project, maybe measure your needle before you do the knitting so that you don't end up with tight. So if I have to, but the sad part is that I know for a certain, I can even show you, I think. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I can see it. So my sleeve ends were somewhere in here, but I can see that right here is where, the lighting is horrible. I can see that I wove in some ends here, right? There's at least one of the ends is here, and it could be that my other end is close by, or it could be at the other side. I don't know. But either way, I have, I didn't weave my ends in just in the ribbing or in the top part. I went all the way down into the sweater, and it's non-superwash, so the yarn is gonna by default want to felt, kind of, not in a bad way, but stick together. It's gonna want to stick. And the thought of undoing those sleeves, my husband's like, yeah, but you're eating less and you're trying to exercise, so maybe your arms will be smaller. And I'm like, that's a really good thought, except I lose weight where I don't care to, like, I mean, I want my face, I want this to go away. I don't see it going away. I don't see it happening. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know, but I would love for this to be, you know, not stupid fat, not horrible looking. But I want to lose the weight from my belly, and I want to lose the weight from my backside, and I want to lose the weight from my thighs. And I am telling you, every single time I've ever started losing weight, I lose it in my chest first, maybe my calves, maybe my feet. Like, I swear, my body takes the fat away from the places that are not critical mass, and leaves it on the places that I'm trying to lose it until the very, very end. Anyway, that was random. That's all I got. I will probably edit a lot of that out. Maybe. I don't know. If I did, you're welcome. And if I didn't, I'm sorry. I'm going to let you go now. I do have to catch you up on the other sweater, but I don't know that I'll put it in the podcast. I think maybe that one will keep separate. But anyway, have a great day, and I know you'll see me real soon, but I won't see you in a while. Bye. Hello. I'm back. Sort of, kind of, anyway. An update on this sweater. We have a lot more done. I did put it on cords and washed it. It's not 100% dry yet, so I can't put it back on the needles just yet. But there was a bit of a panic this morning because it was looking really weird because there was a ripple in the back, and I blocked it and put it on, and the ripple seems to be gone. There's still definitely excess fabric, but I knew there was excess fabric, so I'm not real worried about the excess fabric. Anyway, there may, you know what, the more I look at it now that I'm looking at it, oh, okay, I know, I understand. So, it is definitely oversized, but I wanted it to be oversized, not super tight. I do love the color. That's pretty accurate right there. That's the actual color. This is the front. It all looks the same. I have knit since I last videoed quite a few more rows. When I tried it on, I realized that I don't have as far to go as I thought, because it is definitely a lot longer than I thought, but I still have a ways to go. No changes in it other than I just keep knitting away, and it needs to dry because we blocked it to make sure, because I thought I was gonna have to rip it all the way out, and it's looking like I won't have to, but definite panic for me because I didn't want to have to start over. This is kind of a special video. I am gonna video in bits and pieces and put it all together, so I don't forget what I want to tell you. I'm gonna go through things just a little bit at a time, and then I'll break it, and then I'll come back a couple days, a week, whatever, and as we go along. This is going to be this is some yarn that I have. It is I want to say Moonstone colorway. That is showing up way too bright. It's very close, but it's lighter. I also have this color, which is lighter than this, but both of them are darker on my screen than reality. I don't have anything close by that is similar shade. Wonder if I held red next to it, if it'll, no, it doesn't. This is, although that is an accurate red. Alright, so anyway, I have this color. It is Juniper Moon Farm in the colorway Moonstone. Oh, Juniper Moon Farm Patagonia. And the Patagonia, I have it here. It's Juniper Moon Farm Patagonia Organic Merino. And this yarn is 382 yards per 100 grams, but it is considered a sport DK weight yarn. It recommends a US 5 to a US 7 needle. The recommended gauge or suggested gauge is 21 to 24 stitches over stockinette. So 21 to 24. And what's nice about it is it's non-superwash. It's lightweight, but it's still nice and soft. Well, I find it very soft. This is not quite dry, but it's mostly dry. And this is my gauge swatch. This is US 5 and this is a US 6. On the US 6 I got 20 stitches to 4 inches, and on the US 5 I have 22 stitches to 4 inches. I have decided, although I love the 20 stitches to 4 inches as far as a very light summery fabric, I think that the garment is going to last longer if I go with the 22. I do not want to go down to a US 4 to get the 24 stitches because the yarn is just a little, it would make it dense and almost stand up on its own. So I'm going to go with the 22 stitches to 4 inches. I think I'm going to use a specific pattern, but until I get into it, I'm not certain. But today I wound all fours. I have 4 skeins. I'm planning on making a summer top. Even if it was fingering weight, 4 skeins would be sufficient, but it's DK, so it only has 274. Oh, I don't even. No, it has 382 yards, which is not. Is it yards or meters? It's yards, right? Yes, yards. So I am certain that to make a t-shirt, I can get a t-shirt for me. It's with sufficient ease out of 4 skeins that have 382 yards. No matter, like, with this gauge, not a problem. 22 stitches. I should be able to, if I needed to do long sleeves, I would probably want more yarn. But because I am planning on making a short sleeve t-shirt, I have sufficient yarn. I'm not gonna start it today. I wanted to just get my swatching out of the way because I may switch out. But I noticed when I was planning my wardrobe for work, because I now work in an office, which is the first time since COVID that I've been going to an office. I realized that I don't have a lot of just plain solid colored tops. Most of my yarns are variegated. This one, it's hard to show. See how much darker the bottom of the sweater is over the top of the sweater, because it was all the same color of yarn, but I had to fade in the different skeins because when I tried to helical knit, they were so different that it was just a sharp contrast. So like, and even if it wasn't, there's brown and gold and a little bit of gold, a little bit of brown, a little bit of blue, a little bit of gray. In this yarn, and so it's not one color. And so I wanted that to be able to add to my wardrobe. So I did today gauge swatch, and I have that ready to go. So once I cast on and get going with the sweater, that means I will have picked out the sweater. I think I know, because I'm really thinking I want to try a contiguous set-in sleeve. And I found a tutorial for how to do that contiguous set-in sleeve, but it uses yarn that's not the same way I'm trying to use. And so, and I want it to be a t-shirt, and I want around. Anyway, I'm just really I know exactly what I want to be able to wear with my stuff for work, and so I'm crossing my fingers that I found one, but it has stripes, and I don't want to get messed up, but I think I can make it work. And if that's the one I go forward with, I will tell you in the next video. Hello, this is Valerie, and I'm just gonna check in about my failed 2 weeks. So first of all, I had started this sweater last week. Yes, a week ago. I started this sweater. I do want to make a sweater out of this yarn. However, it will not be this one. This is going to get frogged completely. And this is the other sweater I was making, and it's going to get frogged completely. The reason being for this one is, do y'all see that wave right there? Like that, it puffs out and it puffs in. It's this extra bit of yarn on my back that literally, as I'm wearing it, does that. It's that. That's what it looks like on my back when I'm wearing it. From the side. It's just awkward and weird. It's not that the pattern has anything wrong with it. This yarn is definitely not a yarn that you want to use if you need the pattern to be drapey. And it is not, it's not the yarn you want when you're wanting to do a circular yoke. So I'm gonna frog this the entire sweater. I'm not gonna frog it today because in order to frog it, I have to find the ends that I wove in and unweave them in, and then for the sleeves and undo the sleeves, and then do the same for the neckband and undo the neckband, and then I can frog the body. But long story short, this is going into the frog pond, and this is going into the frog pond. My gauge, when I did my gauge swatch, and for both projects, the gauge from the gauge swatch and the gauge in the project are significantly different. So much so that this sweater that's supposed to be form-fitting and this shoulder is supposed to land right here. Here's where the other shoulder is. In reference, it's at my elbow. Eek. I'm disheartened. Disheartened, however you want to say that. I'm sad. So, I totally understand when people say they're swatches are lying liars that lie. I thought about starting a new I don't even know at the moment. I want to have something I can take to work to knit on. I'm going to look through my whips and see if there's anything that's mindless that I can take to work. This moment in time is killing my mojo, y'all. Oh. This is 2 full weeks of work. 2 weeks of knitting. Just into the toilet. On a positive note, talked to a few friends that went to Maryland Sheeple, and although there was a flash storm with rain and hail, it wasn't the entire day. And so I'm hoping that today is even better. And yeah, we'll bring all this together later today. Thanks. This sweater, not a lot has happened, although I'm done with my sleeve increases that are done at the beginning of the arm shaping. So now it's just knit for a while until it's time to prepare to split for sleeves, in which case there are some more increases. But those increases are, I think, on the body side, like, you know, because you gotta come straight down and then you increase on the body to go down and under the armholes. So I do have that still to go. The both of the sweaters are being knit on US 5, but this is worked on while I'm at work, and I've been working on this when I get home. The yarns I'm using, this is Durirum Natura Ulysses, and I wish that I had all the colors. That's what I wish. I really love knitting with it. And then this is Juniper Moon Farms Patagonia, which is 100% organic merino. And I do not have the color memorized, but I do have a label. Here's the Juniper Moon Farms Patagonia Organic Merino. It is 100 grams and 382 yards. Recommended needles are US 5 to US 7, and it is considered a sport weight. And I am using US 5, but I think that the gauge is beautiful. Like, it's not too heavy and not too light. It's like the perfect middle of the road. It's gonna be warm, but it's not gonna be too warm, I hope, or at least I think. So we'll see how this one comes out. I have another yarn that is very similar, but my gauge, when I gauge swatched with the other yarn. So this is the Juniper Moon, and this is the Holst. They're not exactly the same color, but they are very, very similar. Okay. The Holst, when I did the gauge, and this, I ripped out the rest of it, but this is the fabric, but it required a US 3, which is so much smaller stitches than what the 5 is giving. I was getting 28 stitches to 4 inches on the Holst, on the US 3, and I think it was 28. Pretty sure it was 28. And it's a really nice fabric, and it's light, and it would be beautiful for a t-shirt. I just did not have it in me at the moment to do a stockinette in the round, just knit with a 28 stitch gauge. So I will try again at some point to see if I can get the Holst to, because I've done it before, so I know it does, I can do it. If I can get the Holst to knit up decently at a 24 stitch gauge, because this Patagonia is on a US 5 and it's a 22 stitch gauge. So I'm hoping that I can find a needle that will give me a 24 stitch gauge instead of a 28 and not look ridiculous. So we'll see. Anyway, that's where my projects are. I have no idea how long this is going to take me. I don't work on it except for at home. I don't have any finished objects because honestly, this is a lot of knitting. This is a lot of knitting. I don't remember how many stitches are on the needles here, but that'll tell you see how wide it is. And so, you know what, now that I look at that, that's overkill. Like, here's my shoulder, so there's my body, and there's my body, and I don't think anyone and a half times me. So I will probably just frog all this work, as soon as it's dry. And I don't think I will pick it. So that means off to find something different. I do still have my sleeves that I need to finish, and they're not super far. I am right here, and I need to get the sleeve itself is probably going to be about here when it splits for sleeves. So I still have, I don't know, 3 inches when it's all said and done. But I am definitely past the elbow and working my way up. It's a little more fabric than I would like for it to have, but unfortunately it's and a little tighter than I would have loved here. Like, I just wouldn't mind a little bit more room, but it's not horrible. And I don't think I have to add any more. I need to recount. I think maybe I do. But regardless, I have a little bit more, probably this much more to knit and then I should be able to Kitchener these sleeves down, but I've been working on that. Excuse me, been working on the t-shirt at work. This is not something I can do at work. This hasn't been something I can do at work, but now that it's just knitting to the marker and doing a purl stitch and then knit to the next marker and knit a purl stitch, and same all the way around. For days, this will probably get put in the bag for work, and I'll do something else while I'm at home, because I need something that's prepared and ready to go at work. And we'll see when this gets done. I don't know, but I do think it'll look decent. It's not the best color for me, but it's not like that color is not quite right. It's coming up a lot darker than I feel that it looks in reality, but anyway, I did notice yesterday that these look really good together. Although that's not accurate either. There, that's closer. So the brown is at least correct there. Anyhow, so I don't know, maybe I'll work on these at home. At least they're not hot. I can't work with this sweater in my lap. It's just way too hot. So I'm not in any hurry to finish the sleeves because it's too hot to put the Kitchener in anyway, so why worry about it? Yeah. I have all of the skeins for this are already wound up. I had planned on making it a short sleeve, but I think I might have enough, depending on how it goes, I might have enough for long sleeves, and if that's the case, I might make this into a long sleeve. Anyway, yeah, I can't think of anything else for either one of those videos. I have a ton of editing to do to put everything together. Jim and I will try to video later and we'll put it all together. So that's all I have at the moment. Maybe I'll find some yarn to cast something else on. There's a surprise since I'm frogging my brown one. It's gonna go in a pile. Y'all know I'm not gonna even look or think of that pattern for a while.
You can't. You can.
My math was clearly badly wrong.
You need to just go get a fucking snake from.
Hello, this is an update on this sweater. The sleeves are tucked inside so I don't have to fight with them. I cut off the bottom hem, which used to be right here, I think right about here, and I've added the white, and I'm currently, so I've added this white, I'm gonna do a green, another white, and the lavender, and then I'm probably gonna add ribbing, but I'll try it on at that point and maybe add more green. I will not add this color again just because I don't need it, but the length is just too short. Yeah, it's just too short. I thought it was perfect, and when I wore it a couple of times it was great, and then I realized that I really want it longer. Another thing I want to talk about, and this is not specific to this sweater, but it is specific, well, maybe not, but definitely for this yarn. For some reason, the neck bands just grow and grow and grow. And so I'm not certain what I should do about it, but I think what I'm going to do for this particular sweater is pick up the neckband after I'm done doing the bottom. I'm going to pick up the neckband and re-knit it. I will put it back as stockinette. I will decrease because this is just, I don't want my neckband just quite that stretch out, and I definitely don't want it to stretch any further. So I will probably add a few rows, just a few more rows of stockinette, and then I'm gonna knit the ribbing, maybe 4 inches, whatever, and then I'm gonna fold it. But before I fold it, I'm gonna put a strip of elastic in, because I just don't, and then I'll seam it down, fold it, do a folded neckband. Not because I need the weight of the folded neckband necessarily, but I'm just over this. The other option is just knit it 4 or 5 inches and maybe just having that extra height. But I have a green sweater that's the same exact sweater knit with the same yarn, but knit single-stranded instead of double-stranded, and it's so stretched out. It just does this way, like this sweater doesn't have enough yarn to even do it. And I don't mind having a little bit of a scoop neck. I don't mind that at all, but I don't like when my sweaters go off the shoulder, and this one isn't there yet. But I want to say, when I finished this sweater, the neckband was like here. Like, this is all additional fabric that just from growing. Like, come on, people. I didn't. Anyway, I am currently just knitting in the round because I'm in the red section. I do so many rows, and then I start the chart in the green. And so, unfortunately though, this sweater is super warm to be sitting in my lap because it is fingering weight held double, and then color work all the way around. So it's full color work, so you have double layered, basically worsted weight or DK weight. DK weight color work in my lap in Texas heat is not my favorite. So I will probably not bring this sweater back out. I had this week because I needed something else to work on, but it's probably gonna go into timeout, and we'll bring it back in maybe September. September. August is usually the hottest month of the year, so my guess is more like September, maybe even October, unless some miracle happens and I get more money than I know what to do with, so I don't mind running the air conditioning down at 65, in which case I won't care that it's in my lap. But probably not. And that's it for, I didn't call this. The yarn is Holst Garn Super Soft. I love the yarn. I will never stop loving the yarn. I just have to figure out, I think it's my knitting. Like, I need to do a different neckband. I need to maybe seam the neckband. I need to do something that holds that shape a little bit better. Not the yarn itself, but it is Holst Super Soft. And the pattern is by Along Avec Anna, and I'll just have the link down below because I cannot right at this moment think of what it's called. Or maybe I already told you earlier, because I may do another. I'm going to put these together so that you guys have a full understanding of what's going on with a specific pattern. So, thanks. Bye. Okay, so now we have 2 projects in the frog pond. I'm going to try and put the footage from before of starting the projects and my progress in before we talked about the prog pound, but if I wasn't able to figure it out, it'll be at the very end. I did want to go into a little more detail on this so that I don't have to re-record and put it in a separate video. I am not following a pattern. I cast on the number of stitches I think would be good for the size of needle that I'm using based on the math I did so that I have a nice neckline. And then I am just following a process that is called a contiguous set-in sleeve because that's what I want to make. I want to make a contiguous set-in sleeve, and so we'll see. I'm gonna knit so many inches and then start my set-in sleeve and hope for the best. I have no idea how it's gonna go, but we're gonna try it, and I will.
I wonder why the guy keeps walking up and
Yeah, I
down.
know we have somebody walking back and forth. I'm thinking we should get up and see if he's lost or something.
I think he's trying to do a Walmart delivery and he's lost. But that's okay.
Anyway, that's probably exactly what that is, but I have no idea who he's trying to find or what he's trying to find. Probably one of those apartments that are in the whole. I'm pointing at you guys. Our apartments are laid out a little weird. Ours is lucky. We're on a corner. We don't have to walk to get to it. It is the most easy access apartment, I think, in the complex, pretty much. As far as where we park and where we're at, it's really I feel we're lucky.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so time will tell on whether my attempt at a contiguous set-in sleeve construction for this sweater works or doesn't. But my plan is to do a contiguous set-in sleeve. Also plan is to do bust darts, and I'm not planning to have negative ease, but I'm not planning on having positive ease. I would like for this shirt or the top to just drape nicely, to just wear real easily. Yeah, so I also did not gauge swatch with this particular color, but I did gauge swatch with this yarn. I think I showed it to you, the green and the orange.
Don't know.
But anyway, I did do a gauge swatch with the yarn, and in that gauge swatch I used a US 3 and a US 4. I did not do the US 5, but I am knitting it on a US 5. It is looser than most yarns that I would do. I probably wouldn't normally go for such a loose gauge on a fingering weight yarn. However, I've been burnt. I don't know if that's the right word, but I just know that I want this to have some drape. And this sweater, the biggest reason why it's a problem isn't because it has extra room in it, but fact that if it's put on the body like this, the fabric is not laying nicely. It wants to just stick and poof out because it wants to hold its shape. Am I making any sense, James?
Yes.
The yarn isn't wanting to drape, and I think it's because I just used too small of a needle for that particular yarn in order to have the fabric I want. So I am going to a bigger needle to a looser gauge with this yarn in hopes to overcome the desire of the non-superwash to hold its shape. So, time will tell. I don't know if I will be happy in the end of things, but I'm just going to keep on knitting it and hoping for the best. The good news is that it's kind of like a raglan, but not a raglan. So once I'm at work tomorrow, I won't be able to work on it while the teacher's teaching necessarily, because I'll need to look down. But it is something that I can work on while I'm listening to videos or while I'm... Thank you, babies.
You might want to run that to a ball winder.
I probably will, but not right this very second. Thank
And
you
it's
for
a ball,
talking.
and I winded it, but it's not a good ball winder. Yeah, I'm done for right now.
This one's a pain in the neck, anyway.
I'm
So,
done. I love you.
we're gonna be done in like literally less than 1 minute.
Well, you're
I
not
will-
talking fast enough because I need to move.
Yes, you can in just a minute. Here, I'll rub on you.
Talk, no talk. No rub, talk.
Anyhow, so I will let you know how this goes and how things turn out when hopefully we'll talk in 2 weeks. Maybe it'll be sooner, I don't know. But I was gonna talk about purchases. I know I got some yarn in the mail since we spoke, but was it this?
I don't know. Could be.
It might have been this. I did get Juniper Moon Farms yarn in the mail, and it's not here yet, but I did order some Brooklyn Tweed Loft and some tones because they're going out of business, and I'm very, very sad. And so I ordered 2 sweaters quantities, a sweater quantity of one and a sweater quantity of another. It will be here on the next one. Go
What
ahead.
I found. She's been whining about these.
I have not been whining. I do not
I wish I
whine.
knew where my thing was. This would be so much better if I had my thing. I don't know what
I
happened
did
to my
not say
thing.
it that way. I said, I really wish I knew where my thing is. I know I have it. And I went looking for it and did not find it. And then a few days later, I really wish I knew where. And I didn't go, I really wish. I do not talk to you that way. Or to me that way. I do not
Anyway.
whine.
Anyway,
But I
she's been
did.
wanting to have
been
this
trying to find
discovered.
it.
She's been hoping that somebody would find this somewhere, and
I've been
somebody
trying to find it, and you found it for me. And that was
somebody
very
did
kind.
find it for her.
So just so you know, how this is used is you take your cake and you place it right after you wind it, preferably while it's still loosey-goosey in the middle, and you slide it over, and then as you're pulling from the skein, when you're pulling from the skein, it just goes windy, windy, windy. And when I find this the most helpful is 2 at a time socks. Sock number 1, sock number 2, and they just come off. So anyway, thank you for finding this for me, because I will be able to use it to make your next pair of socks.
Maybe.
Oh, and he also found, look what else he found. He found some worsted weight self-striping yarn and some scraps of other DK weight yarn, which I can use for heels and toes for this yarn. So he might get this wound up so that I can start making socks for him when I'm at home. Because what I did with these 2 sweaters that I was working on is I had my work knitting and then I had my home knitting. And So I might make you some socks as my home knitting. I'm not swearing to it because.
By the way, she said that thing about Instagram. Something else for y'all. I've had several people suggest that I start doing Papa Talks. Papa talks about movies, Papa talks about books, Papa talks about music, Papa talks about politics. I'm thinking about it real seriously.
You could do
Papa
it on
tells
this
jokes.
channel, or you could do your own channel.
Don't know if I'll do them as Papa or if I'll do them as Fish the Cowboy or as Fish Man. Once upon a time I used to do comedy as Fish Man. That was a lifetime ago. But talked to an old
If
buddy
you
of mine
guys
from the
think
Navy.
he should do it, put it in the notes below. If you think he should do his own.
And
Anyway.
Valerie was laughing because she saw me chatting with Shane, and Shane was back. Shane and I've been friends since my Navy days back in Pearl Harbor, and that was back when I was the Fish Man. So he's like, the Fish Man? Well, once upon a time, yes, that was me. So if you want me to do sidebars, just little videos of just me telling jokes, talking about books, telling
We think
stories
he
from
should
the
do a
Navy.
TikTok and then put the videos up on YouTube.
But let me know if you're interested, and I might tell you about books, and I might tell you spoilers on books. I'll tell you, okay, here's the book report. Now, hang up if you don't want to be having no spoilers, because here's the real book report.
Yeah, we're not going to do spoilers on here. You can do spoilers, but you got to do it when I'm not home.
I know.
Anyway, so that's all we have. I hopefully be back in 2 weeks.
Or sooner. Who
And
knows?
I will keep trying to give you guys more information. Oh, by the way, the ribbing US 3 and the body is US 5. And
If you go to see Thunderbolts or Minecraft, let me know, or The Accountant 2, let me know what you thought of those movies so I know whether or not we like the same kind of movies or not.
just
Good.
let us know if you any comments. We'd love your comments. Oh, and we need to say thank you. We got a bunch of new subscribers because the two ladies that are doing Two Sisters Knitting Talking Shit,
Yeah.
they mentioned us on their podcast. I really like their podcast. They're funny. They're
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. Now, when our YouTube comes up for what we're going to watch in our subscription, many years ago, like 15 years ago, I used to do a charity called 2 Hours of Sunshine, and I would go and play in nursing homes and provide entertainment to people in nursing homes and assisted living centers and in memory units.
And I created a YouTube channel.
And she created a YouTube channel, and the YouTube channel is 2HOS, 2 Hours of Sunshine. And every time I see that, I see two hoes, and I'm like, why are you watching two hoes? And it's not. It's 2 Hours of Sunshine. And it hasn't had any new content in a long time, but it's still there. And throws me for a loop every time I see it. Why do we want to watch two hoes? I don't get this at all. I am confused. And she says, not two hoes, it's 2 Hours of Sunshine. Oh, I got you.
And then the next time he forgets again.
I have a short attention span.
Oh man,
I love you.
you're distracting me.
I don't do
good.
shit.
Anyway, I thought I messed up. I didn't mess up. I don't know about anyone else, but I do not.
Is that some good looking popcorn or what? Ew.
Maybe they are on a diet. How rude.
Popcorn is diet food.
Not for some people.
0 calories.
It doesn't matter. Barb can't have it.
Why not?
It's a carb.
Oh, I'm sorry. If you're watching, Barbara, don't look at the
I'm
popcorn.
just saying. Like,
Yes, dear.
anyway. Sorry.
Sorry.
I struggle with raglan. Everybody's like, oh my god, I want to knit a raglan. It's a raglan. It's an easy raglan. I Miss, I swear, I'm supposed to increase right here. I'm supposed to increase right here. I'm supposed to increase right here and right here
Uh-huh.
for what I'm doing every round.
Uh-huh.
On a regular basis, I do this one and I forget this one. I do this one and I forget this one.
Hmm.
Or I'm like forgetting this one and only that one, or I only forget this one. But it's so often that I come back around and go, well, I missed that one.
Hmm.
And then you got undo. Anyway, I just wonder, did anyone else struggle with the Raglan increases of when are you on an increase round or are you in a rest round? Are you on an increase round or are you in a rest round?
I'll take care.
Bye.
I'll see you.
I will see if I can figure out how to do a timestamp to put that, which you already know if it's already there, but this was supposed to be a set-in sleeve. Okay? Now, just for reference, this is where the shoulder is supposed to land. Babe, will you grab this end? Okay, and point to where the shoulder is.
Right there.
So that's over here. That's not where it's supposed to be, which
This
is my
elbow.
shoulder is here. That's this much. So we have a gauge issue. Now, did I do a gauge swatch? Yes, I
She did. She did, honestly. Unusual, but she did.
Did the gauge swatch lie? Was it a liar who lies? Yes. It was a liar who lies.
I believe the phrase is lying liar who
There
lies.
you go. Lying liar who lies. That's it. So, my gauge swatch said that I was getting 22.5 stitches to 4 inches. After putting this in the water and blocking it, and I didn't stretch nothing. I did not stretch nothing. I just laid it flat to dry. And then I did my gauge swatch. And it is 19 stitches to 4 inches. 19 stitches to 4 inches is why I have that much more fabric than I'm supposed to have. So, this has to be frogged because it's not a drop shoulder. I can't modify it. It's a set-in sleeve. It is a contiguous construction set-in sleeve. And because of that, it is not possible to make this just make it work. So that has to get frogged.
Is there a reason why you got this sitting out there all by itself?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about it
Oh, you are?
as soon as we get done with this.
She's going to talk about this.
So, this little fabric that's sticking out right here, kind of, sort of. What?
No need to talk about this. It's gone. It's made by Brooklyn Tweed, and they quit making yarn.
That's why we're going to talk about it.
Mm.
Anyway, so this ended up, I tried it on, and there was literally a bubble that was like this wide and stuck out that much from my back. So instead of laying nice against my back, there was a ripple in the fabric where there's a good 8 inches of extra fabric.
She could have made that for the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and it would have been...
It would have fit perfectly,
no,
basically, or
it
almost.
probably would have had positive ease for the
Hunchback.
Hunchback of Notre Dame.
So
See, I knew that word, positive ease.
I
Not a fan, but I do
blocked it just to see, and after blocking, it's still way the hell too much fabric. And it's got ripples for days that don't need to be in there. I mean, you can see kind of.
Ripple,
That
isn't that a
is-
kind of cheap wine?
This is what it goes on my body, and see those like puckers? Like what the heck? Anyway, so there's no fixing this except for ripping it out. However, as Jim said earlier, I already finished the sleeves. I wove in the ends. So now I have to find the ends, figure out where I wove them in at, take those ends that I wove in out, like undo the weaving in of the ends, and then frog. And I have to do that for both sleeves and for the top that I also wove in the top. So it has taken everything in me not to throw this in the garbage because I love this yarn so much. Jim can tell you that this yarn made me so happy to knit with it. I am not upset that I got to knit with this yarn. I'm not upset that I get to knit with it again. I'm just bummed because I really wanted the garment. And, I mean, you guys can see, this is, well, we'll do it on this side. This is what it should, where it should be, and that's where it lands. And it's just about my waist right now. I mean, like, it just, and how it lays is just not cool. And so anyway, I have to frog this one too. Apparently he's decided he's going to start frogging already.
Is that a problem?
No. Hopefully, before I even went into these frogging, you've seen the progress that was made along the way. 100% this was me not using a pattern and trying to make do because I was working on it at work and I couldn't do it at home. I couldn't look at a pattern. And I really wanted the top. So I am probably going to end up frogging this just because I don't know what the hell I'm doing, basically. I couldn't find the pattern that is letting me do exactly what I want to do. And because of that, I am, for lack of a better word, winging it.